because my first experience of Korea was Gangnam. Gangnam to me is New York City.
굳이 뉴욕까지 갈 필요 없습니다. 강남 가십시오. 예.
Or cold noodles. Fresh. No cold noodle. That's the fastest way to get me to leave.
콜드들 계속 주면은 자기 떠난다고.
네, 안녕하세요. 발치카 토크의 빈본입니다. 오늘은 퍼시픽의 드라마 속 주인공 같은 존재죠. 프로스트 감독과 함께하겠습니다. 반갑습니다. Hello,
welcome,
Frost.
Welcome to our tour.
예, 뭐 간단하게 한국 팬분들이 사실 프로스트를 모르진 않겠지만 다시 한번 개인적으로 소개 한번 부탁드리도록 하겠습니다.
I'm Hector Rosario, otherwise known as Frost, head coach of Full Sense.
한국 팬들이 유일하게 해외 쪽 감독 중에 알렉스와 견주어도 안 딸리는, 본인도 좀 한국에서 인기 실감하는지 좀 궁금해요. 저는.
Yeah, recognize and know. Yes. I don't know if they like me as much as Alex, but certainly I do feel like they know me. I mean, even in random places, coffee shops, airports, people notice for sure. So.
야, 이 정도면 뭐 진짜 어디 가도 알아볼 정도면은 예. 뭐 일단 저희가 되게 다양한 걸 얘기를 해볼 것 같아요. 프로스트는 과연 어떤 사람이었는지 이거부터 한번 저희가 좀 물어보도록 하겠습니다. 원래 이 e스포츠를 어떻게 시작했는지부터가 좀 궁금하거든요.
Yeah, on Twitter, there's a nice. So I did a TED Talk at UCLA, and it goes over a lot of my career. But former Dota 2 pro, then obviously org owner, CS:GO coach, many years, 8 majors in a row actually. Rocket League world champion, coaching that too. Crossfire, that's kind of how I know Baby Bay, which is kind of funny. Crossfire, fighting games, and then Valorant.
그리고 제가 또 추가로 질문 하나 드릴게요. So, do you remember what year you started in the esports industry?
Professionally, 2011.
2011. Is that the Dota?
Yeah.
그럼 15년, 16년이 되는 건데 벌써
15,
이 시즌에
16
있는지.
years.
이제 많은 분들이 이제 프로스트의 코칭이나 선수 생활하면서 어디 나라 어디 권역에서 좀 활동을 했는지 좀 궁금하거든요.
A lot.
Can't count. Too
I
many.
think I'm pretty sure I've been to every continent outside of Antarctica. I think I've been literally everywhere. I did ESL, so ESL did a ESL India thing for a while, and I went there to like commentate Dota and Counter Strike for them, like 5 years in a row. So yeah.
와, 진짜 여기저기 다녔구나.
대충 알아들으셨죠? 거의.
그러면은 진짜 다양한 권역과 다양한 나라에서 일을 해봤지만 제일 잘 맞는, 그러니까 문화적인 거나 음식적인 거나 모든 환경들이 제일 잘 맞는 나라 어디였는지, 그리고 반대로 베스트가 있으면 워스트가 있잖아요. 어디였는지가 좀 궁금하거든요. 저는 그 때문에.
Okay, the worst. I mean, it's gonna seem weird because of global, but New Delhi, India, was
New
very
Delhi.
difficult to deal with. Yeah, as a foreigner.
Oh, okay, as a foreigner.
Yeah, small things like traffic. So, for instance, when you drive, everyone drive. There's like lanes. Everyone just like doing this. It's not like
there's no left and
everyone. So it is. It is so scary. And then, and then culturally, it's different for me because I never grew up on a farm. I grew up in a city.
Yeah.
So seeing cows roam the streets, take a poop everywhere,
맞아.
so for me, it was like, what the heck is going on? So it was difficult to deal with that first.
맞아요.
But probably the best short term, the best was probably Cluj-Napoca, Romania, because it had even Latin American food. There, it's like it was so cool, man, and it reminded me some places like Korea because there were parks everywhere, and so that was pretty nice. I think living obviously has been Korea. I think Korea. I would prefer to live in Korea over even America.
really.
Yeah.
Like even culturally, like the people that you meet, like not esports, like
Yeah, not esports.
Yeah.
I think culturally it's different
Yeah.
as an American, but yeah, it's fine. Nah, it's cool.
it's cool.
꽤 오랜 시간 지금 한국에 있잖아요. 퍼시픽 때문에. 어떤 부분에서 이게 프로스트 감독이 한국 괜찮은데라고 생각했던 좀 약간 두세 가지 정도?
He's wrong actually. From day one, I loved it because I'm not in real Korea though, because my first experience of Korea was Gangnam, which isn't real Korea. I found out later. Gangnam to me is New York City, just with more Asians. That's it. It's the same. So for me, it was home. I oh man, I missed Gangnam so much. It everything reminded me of New York City.
Yeah.
But it was cleaner, nicer people, or I don't think nicer is the right way to put it, but the way Koreans and Americans are so different in the fact that like Koreans don't bother you. Nobody really like, small talk isn't really a thing. So it's like, yeah, man, the food is great. Korea's a a country of convenience. America is not convenient at all.
Yeah.
There's I mean everything from like the metro to like it's pretty much to me a better New York City. Smaller, but a better well, not smaller in terms of population, but like where it reminds me of New York.
Yeah.
It's obviously much smaller than New York City, but it's oh man, it was great. So I went from Gangnam to Hongdae.
Okay.
Right? Awesome. And now I'm in Incheon. Trash.
Okay.
So if I lived in Incheon first,
Yeah.
maybe my perception would be different.
Okay.
Man.
Starting off in Gangnam.
And then Hongdae
And then
was
Hongdae?
oh man.
Party all day?
A dream, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
A dream.
궁금한 게 그럼 저는 뉴욕을 안 가봤거든요. 그럼 저 뉴욕 안 가고 그냥 강남만 가도 되는지.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, obviously the people are different.
예.
But for me
Like
as
the
a New
vibe?
dude, it's the same. And then it's like nicer because there's trees.
Oh.
So New York is called the concrete jungle.
아 콘크리트 정글이다.
Mainly because there's like no trees. It's just all concrete and buildings. Here, there's a mix of, you know, wildlife. Like there's a mix, you know, there's hiking trails attached to it. It's fucking awesome, man. So
그래서
cool.
자 여러분들 들으셨죠? 발토 시청자분들은 굳이 뉴욕까지 갈 필요 없습니다. 강남 가십시오. 예. 이게 음식 얘기를 지금 열심히 하고 있는데 궁금한 게 그러면 혹시 가장 좋아하는 한식과 아 이거는 못 먹겠다 하는 한국 음식.
okay.
Anything really spicy is my problem because even though I'm Latin American and Spanish, I get made fun of by my own family. I don't do well with spice.
Okay.
So anything spicy, I probably don't like. Or cold noodles, trash.
아 냉면.
Trash.
아 트래시.
Trash.
아너 콜드 누들?
No cold noodle. That's the fastest way to get me to leave.
콜드누들 계속 주면은 자기 떠난다고.
So in America,
Yeah.
before I left Furia to come here, Korean food was already one of my favorites. Korean barbecue in particular.
Oh, okay.
But what I didn't know was that the Korean barbecue in America is like LA is not like Korean actual barbecue. So coming here, this is where I really learned about samgyeopsal. But in America, Galbi-jjim.
Yeah.
There's a place in LA called Sonnokdan. Galbi-jjim by far my favorite thing. Do I like Pajin? I love Pajin, like seafood Pajin.
파전.
오.
okay.
Crack.
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
So good.
All right.
아 그러면 싫어하는 음식이 매운 거고 콜드 누들이네. 냉면. 어.
자기를 빨리 떠나게 하고 싶으면은 콜드 누들만 줘라. 그럼
그래.
자기 떠난다.
프로스트 싫으면은 숙소로다 불닭볶음면이랑 냉면 계속 보내면 되네. 뭐 그러면 지금 생각하는데 음식은 아예 문제 없죠. 아, 그러니까 왜냐면 이걸 제가 왜 물어보냐면은 그 주위에 유도탄이 저희 채널 나와서 했더니까 크리스탈은 맨날 굽네 치킨만 먹는다. 난 저는 그런 게 있을까봐 걱정됐던 거지.
No,
He was
Crystal.
wondering, yeah.
Crystal graduated.
Oh, really?
Crystal eats a lot of different stuff now.
오,
Crystal grew up.
오.
Crystal grew up.
또 졸업을 했대요 이제.
야
군대를.
이제 잼민이 아니구나.
군대를 졸업하고
야.
많이 다른 걸 먹는다.
자 이제는 뭐 e스포츠 팀에 관련된 좀 얘기를 해봐야 될 것 같습니다. 프로스트가 처음으로 시작한 게 백티가 맞나요?
Yeah, so Hiko had offers from like T1,
Well, NAT1, right? When they were in-
Phase, and basically he just called me up because I had coached him in CS. People don't kind of know that Nitro and Hiko, I coached in CS for a bit, or like I helped them in a tournament that they were in while I was on Flipside, but Flipside exited the major. It was Columbus, so when they went on a deep run, I was helping them every night with our playbooks and like our antes, we were giving to them. So that's how like that whole thing has started. So he kind of was like, yo, I want to make a team. Are you down? Because me and Jovi were playing Valorant, and we were playing with Hiko. So he was like, Hector, do you want to build a team here? I was like, I'm down. I love this game. Yeah, so I was on 100 Thieves as long as Hiko, but they didn't announce me till after First Strike because they're just weird. And I just think people are like that. In America, people are like that with coaches. In Korea, the coaching dynamic is so different.
Yeah.
Like you guys, like it's like coaches then players,
Yeah.
but everywhere else in the world, it's the opposite.
근데 결과론적으로 어떻게 보면은 다들 초반에 CS:GO 쪽에서 솔직히 티어 1 선수들은 관심이 없었던 것 같고 티어 2 선수들이 좀 많았던 것 같은데 뭐 왔다가 다 갔단 말이에요. 뭐 이유가 좀 있었나요? 좀 어떤 것 같아요 그때는?
I think part of it was stubbornness. I think some people have a hard time realizing that CS:GO fundamentals aren't Valorant fundamentals, and it's a good base. It's like MMA. If you have like a good wrestling base, great.
Yeah.
But you still need more than just that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even like Khabib or they still know how to strike. They still like you have to have more. I think CS:GO guys were just comfortable trying to treat everything like it was just CS:GO, but they were getting beat by like agents and ults and they had a hard time for sure. Because I had a lot of fights with my old 100 Thieves guys about that. Because there's so many things now with time they were wrong on, and they just wouldn't believe that this, you know, and it's just like, you know, unlucky.
So you're saying like Valorant is, I guess, kind of like MMA. Like you need more stuff compared.
Valorant to me is Dota and CS:GO in one game.
Oh.
그러니까 이게 이제 카운터 CS:GO는 이제 카운터 스트라이크는 복싱이라고 생각하면은
굳이,
이제 발로란트는 MMA
어.
이게 UFC인 거지. 그럼 궁금한 게 이제 그 코칭 스타일에 대해서 또 얘기 나와서 이어지는 질문이긴 한데
네.
그러면 그때 백티 시절부터 지금까지 발로란트를 대하는 본인의 감독이나 코칭 스타일이 확실한 그 철학이 있는지 좀 궁금하긴 하거든요.
I do. So I used to care way more about strategies and stuff. Like I used to come up with my own stuff. I used to be like, you know, I don't like the way other people are doing it. They're just bad. I'll do it all myself. And then you just realize it's just way too much work. So now you just find stuff to steal. You find out stuff that works and is good, and you try it yourself. And if it sticks, you just keep it and you just steal. So now I steal so much stuff from other people because the art is really knowing when to use it. If I have a philosophy in anything, it's not even about Valorant. It's about life. Just do things smarter, not harder. I'm much better with smarter people around me than I am just give me 5 cracked aimers. Because when you just give me 5 cracked aimers, that's normally where I have a lot of problems with people because they just like to do things a different way in their own way. And I just think the variance, I mean, if getting 5 aimers is like the real thing you should be doing, then Paper Rex would have won everything. I know they have won and they're consistent. They are to me the best team of all time. But there's a reason why they haven't won every tournament. And I think if there's ever going to be an Australis, it's going to be because there's 5 very smart players that no matter the team, no matter the situation, they can adapt in real time better than everyone else. I think that is more likely to benefit you both in winning and in the long term than my mechanics. So yeah, that was a lot. But basically, smarter, not harder.
Okay.
Is
That's
for
the
sure my philosophy, if anything.
그러면은 이어서 이게 감독 코칭 질문 되게 좋은 얘기들을 해줬기 때문에 좀 이어서 드리고 싶은 얘기가 그러니까 프로스트는 메타픽이라는 안전한 조합이 있음에도 불구하고 계속 꾸준히 다양한 조합들을 시도하는 이유가 어떤 이유 때문에 그런 건지 좀 궁금하긴 하거든요.
Well, I mean, the easy thing to say is my Dota background allows me to understand drafting. The truth is, if I had the world's best players, I won't need to change comps. You're talking to a guy that has had minimum level players, and yet people forget that I'm going up against teams like T1 with the largest budget, for sure in Pacific, the highest salaries. My record against them is 7-1, and I'm doing it with minimum level players. You can't do that. Like if you don't have better players and you're running the same stuff, the odds are you're gonna lose. They're better players for a reason. The way to disrupt them is most of them aren't smart enough to understand how different agents affect the formula. So if you look at the comp everyone's running now, Neon Phoenix. I countered that with 1 pick, Sage. And I told Chobra, by the way, that I was going to do that long before. It just took Sage. Sage is a hard counter to that comp. I just need 1 agent to basically stop you. And then you're going to 4-1, 5-0 yourself to death because you either have to fight through the slow or you have to go the other way where everyone else is. You can pick one. I don't mind what you pick, right? So it's like, it's just that easy. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably the best way to.
맞아요.
T1의 전적을 말씀해 주셨는데 7승 1패래요. T1 상대로.
You can go outside of Gen G,
Yeah.
which was a 2024 Gen G. My record against Koreans is kind of ridiculous, but all my budgets have been much lower than theirs.
Yeah.
We don't have the same infrastructure, same level of players. So how is it that I'm able to do it so consistently? From Furia too. Before I got fired from Furia, we were 4-2 in NA. We were tied for 2nd place. I mean, Nongshim. I'm 6-0 in Nongshim.
Yeah.
Nongshim's never beaten me.
농심 상대로도 6승 0패래요 지금.
좋네.
본인이 있었던 팀 기준.
그러면 결국엔 중요한 거는 현재 13.00 패치에서의 현재 메타는 프로스트가 봤을 때 어떤 메타인 건지가 좀 궁금해요.
Still Neon Phoenix. Bro, this game, this whole year is so troll, man. They legitimately wasted a year of our professional careers. It's Neon Phoenix.
Neon
Phoenix.
On almost every map.
Going into
Summit,
stage 2?
Sunset, Breeze, on almost every freaking map, bro. Ascent, it's a joke. And then just think about it this way. In the finals, Neon Phoenix, both. It's just trash.
하긴 생각하면은 그러니까 프렉처에서도 네온 피닉스 하잖아. 그래도 이게 감독들이나 코치나 선수들이랑 좀 이제 얘기를 해보면은 그래도 그 전보다는 척후대 패치나 그나마 뭐 투척후대나 이런 거 쓸 수는 있다. 그래서 네온 피닉스가 맞긴 하지만 어떻게든 카운터 치려는 움직임들이 있는지 프로스트도 동일하게 생각하는지 저는
It's still horrible. They should have just reverted it.
So
They shoulda
with
just
even
reverted
with the Sentinel and Initiator patches,
Bro,
it's
it's
not
trash.
gonna.
The closest anyone is coming to double initiator is using KO as a secondary duelist. Back like when you did in 2022.
Yeah, so like you have
2021.
like a Jet or a Wraith, and then like
Right.
KO is gonna follow. With
yeah, that's
the
it.
only way.
But who's doing that? Vitality, RQ, like teams like that, right? Okay, you
Like do it if you want. Yeah.
yeah, like teams that are playing slower, but
Yeah.
the game is pace and space. So it's like you could try to play slow.
But the other team's not.
Good
gonna.
luck.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it can work, but it's
Yeah.
like it's gonna be hard.
하긴 이게 이 말이 맞는 것 같은 게
네.
지금 진행된 EWC만 봐도
네.
NRG 에단 네온하고 있어요. 그것만 봐도 네온 피닉스인 것 같긴 해 지금. 예.
It's dumb, bro.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I say. Like, bro, I've had some of the most disrespectful conversations. Bro, I will never forget. I won't say who
Yeah,
because
don't say
people will know.
Yeah.
There was 2 Riot people that when we had a conversation, so they have all the teams come into a meeting and they like talk to you about the meta and stuff, right?
Yeah, see?
But when we
예.
did that, I have to choose my words carefully.
Yeah.
They're just so dismissive about your opinions over theirs. And there's one person in particular that I will never forget was like, I don't know if you are familiar with the term from the Dunn-Kruger effect. It's when dumb people don't realize how dumb they are, but they think they're smart. That is still in my mind in terms of like that experience was just like so enlightening about wow, you guys legitimately think you're the most brilliant, but you're actually morons. Bro, I'm never going to forget that. And when you see how things have continued with balance, you start to realize that like, oh, that's just what this is. They think
don't know.
they know more than all of us and they think we're dumb cuz we can't adapt to their game. When it's like, okay. Yeah, you're right. I guess.
혹시 탈론 뭐 풀센스 G 거치면서 그 과정 속에서 얻은 좀 감상, 지도자로서 좀 배운 게 좀 있는지.
Probably a lot, but I have talked about this before, but the thing I've learned probably the most in all my time is that I need to trust my gut more than I think the opinions of others. Because no matter where I go, there's a level of performance that comes with it. And this is not so you guys in Valorant are just experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah.
But you guys don't realize every other game title was like this too, right? So, you know, for me, that's been the hardest part. People will always tell you like, "Oh, you don't know," or like you'll have players, you'll have like world class players that will tell you you don't know what you're talking about. This is not good, or this is good, and like you think it's bad or you think it's good, and you have a different opinion. And then what they'll all do is go scoreboard like. I have a master's, you don't. But in reality, it's like, but how did you get yours? Whereas, like me, I never had the biggest budget in any team I was on. I always had to do it with a minimum level budget. So it's like, yeah, sure. Is you winning a tournament on the best team equal to like qualifying for it on minimum salaries? Like what everyone defines success differently, but that to me has been the most overwhelming lesson I've learned is just I really have to trust myself more because ultimately it obviously is what has gotten me here.
뭐
라고
자기만의 길이
말씀하-
확실히 있다라는 건
그쵸.
좀 약간 자신감을 갖고 하자 약간 이런 느낌인 것 같네요. 자 이제 스테이지 2로 돌아가서 그래도 풀센스의 감독이 됐기 때문에 다시 그룹 내에서 어떤 팀이 가장 견제가 되는지.
Oh, it's for sure Nongshim and GE. Our first 2 games are like it's a front-loaded schedule. I think it gets easier as time goes on. I mean, we have to come out early.
So you're worried about Nongshim and G the most, like you're.
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
Okay.
Because like those 2 are teams that also can place first. I think.
Okay.
Right.
사실 다 필요 없고 한국 팬들이 이거만 기대하고 있어요. 예. 약간 한국 팬들이 기대하는 게 너가 만든 G 너가 부셔라.
But I kind of already did that, right? Because I made Full Sense and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
knocked them out of London.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah.
you know,
no,
I've
but
kind of
now
already done that.
they want to see you do that to GE because
Yeah, me
like,
too.
this happened, I guess, quote unquote, in mid-season.
yeah.
어쨌든 그래서 뭐 G 얘기까지 저희가 자연스럽게 왔는데 뭐